What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Plastic Underground. I'm Caleb. This week I've been working on a cool little diorama piece for you guys. I've been working on Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. The remastered version of this game comes out tomorrow, so I want to do something a little special. So here's just a little 3D print file of Isaac, and pretty cool display base I made for him. All out of insulation foam and foam board. So let me show you guys what I did to go about to paint him and make this display base. Let me just put him over here out of the way.
Warning, several unauthorized life forms detected aboard. Warning, several unauthorized life forms detected aboard. Warning, several unauthorized life forms detected aboard.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we're going to start this project like we start all 3D print projects. Everything has been taken off of the printer, cleaned, washed, and then cured on the cure. And so now I am doing like a test fit, making sure the pieces fit. You can see here there is a little bit of warping on this foot here. You can see the back of the foot just didn't print 100%. And so, like, instead of reprinting that whole piece, there's a little tip for you guys. I use this like a little epoxy sculpt. It's a 2-part mix. I'm very low on it. That's why they're both in the same container. Usually these come in 2 separate containers. There's a part A and a part B. What you do is you just slice off equal amounts of this. This is the same type of stuff that you've seen me use before in the little tube, except for that stuff is for like plumbing, and you can buy it in the hardware store. It's a little bit more available. This stuff also takes longer to dry, but it's more designed for like actual like sculpting and being like a very hard material once it's cured. But you have a lot more working time with it. So you can see I just kind of smushed some on the foot there, and I stuck it to the lid just so it doesn't move, and then I use that as like my holder, so I can hold that while I go around and I sculpt these details back in. I kind of use the other foot for reference just to make sure it's close. Luckily this isn't really like as part of the figure that you're going to be like looking at, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Same thing with this body piece. I feel like I've never had a print come out and the torso fits like 100% like it's supposed to. I feel like there's always some warping going on. So I glued that together and used a little bit of this epoxy sculpt here just to kind of like stick in the that separation there, and then I went through that little silicone tool and just smoothed it out. And then I go through and I sand everything too. Just give it like a quick sand, just make sure things are smooth, and then I can glue his helmet on here. I think actually I take that off later, and then glue his feet on. I have this really bad habit of like gluing everything together, and then like needing it to be off when I paint, so I end up just like breaking it off and then re-gluing it back on. So like after I sand everything, I go through and I brush out all of the cracks, all the dust out of everything. I'm just using a little bit of tape, folding the tape over and sticking it on so that it has a little base for them to stand on, so that they don't fall over when I'm painting. And I'm just using this like copper bronze paint, just giving it a whole base coat in this. Since there is so much of his suit that is this like coppery color, I didn't want to like paint all those little ridges copper after, so I didn't want to give it like just a black base coat. So I painted everything that copper, and then I go through here with a little bit of brown. I do like his leather part of his uniform. I do like 3 coats of this brown. It's funny, you really can't tell a difference right now. Looking at like the copper and then looking at the brown, you can't really see a difference until you start painting like all the outline areas too. So there's a little bit of gray, a little bit of blue mixed together to make like this steel blue color. These are some of his accent of his uniform. You do like the 2 straps, and then his pants get the same color in the middle. Also his neck piece is the same color. It's like his undersuit type thing. Then you do some of that same color here on his sleeve parts. Then this main part here of his chest is, I just used a light gray color, just a regular paint, just already mixed up. And I'm just painting that whole piece like this light gray. It's kind of hard to tell the colors of his suit just because like the game is so dark, and also there's not really like great like images to see like color, color variation and stuff. So kind of making up a little bit of it as you go. But then I go through here with some gloss black, and I do the piece that goes like around his glove, and then like the under part, his actual fingers and thumb is I painted them like a dark brown. They're supposed to be like leather gloves. And then this black piece goes like over his glove, and then all his like gear gets clipped on top of it. So it's probably just a black leather too, just to kind of like protect his arm from the armor pieces that go in there. So now on his right arm, from the pictures I saw, it just looked like these 2 strap pieces were that black, like just black straps that hold the other side of the band on his arm. This piece looks like his sleeve, his like bluish sleeve goes all the way down to his like glove gauntlet area. So then the front parts of his armor-clad pieces in the front, they have a little bit of black detail on them as well. The side, both sides, like his ribs area, and then in the very front, there's a flat spot between the gaps that I paint here as well. So then moving on to his boots, this top part here by his knee is painted black. Don't pay any attention to his knee guard there. I painted it gray to try to match that piece by his collar, his chest piece there, but I ended up painting these silver. I think it gives it like a little better of a look, kind of separates it and makes it look more metallic. So then the very bottom of his boots get this gloss black too. So this actually will help kind of like not show the imperfections of the print too, and the sculpt job I did. Not that my sculpt job was like awful, but if you really looked at it, you could tell that it's not the same as the other side. It's not perfect. So at least the black paint kind of helps hide all those imperfections, and you don't really notice it because you're not really staring at his feet, So then the base of the plasma gun here, this can get, it's not really a gun actually, but the plasma cutter can get this gloss black base coat, the whole gun itself, except for those fins. So here I am going with a little bit of silver here, doing his belt buckle part, silver. And then I go through and I do his knee guards here, silver as well. This piece on his left arm is also silver. I'm not 100% sure. I think this might be part of like his stasis. Yeah, that's probably what it, well, maybe not. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the game. I'm looking forward to playing the new like remake of this game. So then I also use silver here, and I just do a base coat on these fins, and then I just do a quick dry brush over this black of the base of the gun, and then I do a black wash on top of that. And usually, like, I'll do a wash and I'll dab it off with a rag or a cloth. But for this gun here, I just mixed up some black and brown, a little bit of water, and I just brushed it on. I just left it. I just let it sit. I wanted to kind of try to hide the super bright parts of the silver and make it look dirty, like really dirty. So then I can go back through and glue his arms and legs on. So I noticed that underneath the helmet you can see his part of his neck and his chin, and so I just went in with a little bit of peach like skin color and just kind of painted that. And then I use this like teal color here, and I very carefully paint all of the inside of his visor and all of the areas on his suit and his rig that are supposed to be lit up. Yeah, I would have loved to like put lights in this figure. The file I got is a great file. It's a solid piece, so I didn't want to like carve into it and add lights and stuff. And that back piece would have been, man, I don't know how you would have added light to that. So I just decided to paint it, and it kind of sells that look, you know. And honestly, you don't even see the back after like I made a little display stand for him. You don't even see his rig, so it doesn't really matter. But you do see his visor, and his visor looks pretty cool. There's probably also like a technique that you could use with like an airbrush and make it look like it's glowing. I wasn't too adventurous into like doing that. I hate like when you like finish painting something and then you try like a new technique on it, and if you ruin it, it's like you got to start all over. So then I can go through some yellow and just do like a quick brush of this yellow on these fins of the plasma rifle here. Kind of wanted a little bit of the silver to show through in areas, since the plasma cutter is very like heavily weathered. And then I go through with some silver, and I dry brush like the edges, and I dry brush a lot of the front where he also uses that to like hit things too, so the front of it is always like scratched and damaged, and there's also some black like soot like on the front of it just from the heat that comes off it, and it kind of chars it a little bit too. Then I go through with some brown, watered down brown, and I just I brush it on everything, and then I do go through and I dab this wash off his like clothes and stuff too. I didn't want the wash to like completely stain and dye his lighter colors on his uniform. But I did want just a little bit of like darkness and grime and stuff to get into the texture of his like clothing. So that's basically what I'm doing there. And that's it. Isaac is done. He is painted and ready for a base. So the other thing I want to do is mixed up a little bit of red with some water, and just using like the edge of my brush, just kind of flicking it against the container there. And I'm just adding like some splatter, some blood splatter, some mist. It's a very common thing that you see. I make sure I do the back too, even though like you'll never see it. Okay, so for the base here, I'm using some more of this insulated foam. You've seen me use this quite a lot. This stuff is great, man. If you guys haven't gotten some of this stuff for like your displays or like bases, I really recommend it. Sometimes you can go to like Lowe's or Home Depot, and you can just find like chunks of it that are like pre-cuts or just broken pieces, and they'll sell you pretty cheap. If not, oh man, what is it? Last time I bought it, it's been a while since I bought it because you get so much. It's like a 4 foot by 8 foot section, and it's like $20-$30 somewhere in there. So you saw that I carved this groove out for like the vents on the floor, and then I'm also using that blue stuff there as cardstock. It's heavy duty cardstock. I'm using that for like framework, like around the grate, and that black piece there is just some regular foam board that you used to buy like for art projects, like school projects and stuff. And that's what that is there. So then this other chunk of insulating foam here, I'm cutting a groove out of it. I'm just using my pen here with a ruler, and I'm putting in some like designs here that if you can see on my phone, it's hard to see, but that's kind of what I'm going for here. So I use this tool here. I just kind of like scrape it and smack it against the edges just to make it like beat up. This is like a workbench area, the Ishimara ship, and It's just it's a old beat up ship, industrial ship. So just wanted to kind of get that feel. So there's some more cardstock here. I cut this out to be like the frame of the wall. This piece here is just it's one piece of the cardstock, and that goes up here like that. I'm just using a glue stick for this, just a regular like paper glue stick. And then I do the same thing down here. Put a little bit of glue on the back of these, and then I line these up with the grate area. It just adds a little bit more detail and texture to the floor piece. And then these are just thin cuts of that cardstock, just to add like a frame area around it. And now this bottom piece here is cardstock too, but it's two pieces glued together, so it's a little bit thicker, and just so it stands out a little bit more. So now the back wall piece here can get glued on. Now I'm using some of this rapid fill. I use this stuff for like EVA foam, for like sealing foam, and then you can sand it smooth. It works really good at like sealing foam. Like if I was doing something that's supposed to be like metal or like rigid, I would use this stuff to coat it and then sand it, so you can get like a really good finish on it. So this is the first time I've tried it on like a diorama piece like this, with like on insulating foam and even the paper part, and it worked great. I mean, it worked really good. It sealed everything. It gave everything the same look and feel. So then here I'm just going through. I'm just sanding it with 150 after it's dried, just kind of buffing it out, and you can see how everything kind of looks exactly the same. This sign I printed off my printer. I didn't have any color ink at the time, but I had black, so printed this out, mixed up a little bit of this tan color with some water, just kind of made like a wash, and I just brushed it on really quick, just to kind of match that like color of the poster there. The actual poster is I think it's like showing off the plasma rifle. It's like the plasma cutter, like safety poster that goes over like the workbench, and then obviously it's got the the graffiti over it to kind of tell you, like, as the player, like basically like the aliens, you need to shoot their arms off so that they don't, or else they'll just keep coming. It's not like they're not like zombies. You can't just shoot them. You gotta mobilize them first, which is kind of cool. But so anyway, I'm using a little bit of red, going through, and I'm painting that all red because it's supposed to be blood. So paint that. Now here is a little bit of just a chunk of tape, like packing tape. Since it's clear and glossy, I'm sticking that on top to make it look like this poster was like in glass or something. I probably should have done that first and painted the blood on top of it. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I cut that out, put a little bit of glue on the back of that, and then I stick that in place on this back wall here. Also, I glued the floor on too. I don't think I showed that, but yeah, I just used a little bit of hot glue for the insulating foam. Super glue will melt insulating foam, so I always use hot glue for that. Again, going back to some cardstock here, I cut out this little frame for this poster, and I just glue that frame over. And then I go through with an entire coat of black on everything. Well, technically everything. That back wall where that poster is, I don't paint black. This area of the ship is it's like, it's all metallic, so I do a coat of black so that I can do some gray dry brushing on top and a little bit of silver. So here I just mixed up a little bit of green and a little bit of tan and black just to make this color. It's funny, this color reminds me very much of like the laser rifle body from Fallout. Somehow I mixed up like the perfect color for that. And when I've painted those in the past, I feel like I never get the color right. So now on accident, of course, I make that color like perfectly. So that is good to know. Then I go through a little bit of dry brushing here, some dark gray that I mixed, just using some black and white. Mixed it up to make this darker gray color. Make sure I paint these frames that go around on the wall, and also the frame of the poster. Then I go through with some brown and some black wash, and I brush that on everything. Just want to grime everything up, make everything look dirty. Space, like space is filthy, so wanted to make the ship dirty, make it look old, make it look used. Like people have been living there, people have been working on that ship, and it's just, just gets dirty. So here's a technique I learned a while ago. If you guys have seen my video, my Little Nightmares 2 diorama, I take a little bit of this paint color here, and I just I dab it on to like the edges and corners of things, and then I'll go back through with my brush, and I'll dip my brush in my water, and I'll just add a lot of water to like specific areas, and just let the paint and water like drip down the wall. Maybe there was a leak at some point on the floor above. Maybe it's just some grime and dirt that have just accumulated, and now gravity has taken over. Just to make it looks creepy. It looks creepy, and kind of helps sell that like worn in look. Again, I'm going through with some blood, doing some blood splatters all over this. And then I also wanted to do like a drag mark, like one of the people have been turned into the necromorph, the alien there, and like dragged itself away. So just wanted to add to that creepy, scary aspect of this space horror game. And yeah, it came out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the results of it. And as you can see, there it is. There's my Isaac Clarke Dead Space diorama. Hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see anything specific. And I will see you guys next time.